All 25 cars that came through the turnstiles will make the feature here this evening. Let's see if we can remember how to do this whole feature racing thing. As Terry Schultz leads them across the line to take the green flag, and we are underway for our first feature of the season. The 22 of Dustin Hodges on the high side of Ryan Middaugh. Then you have your current USRA points leader nationally. He's ran 7 times this season. He leads by right at 100 points. Still looking for his first feature win of the 2020 campaign. Joe Duvall to the inside of the 1X. That is Matt Johnson on the high side. A 3-car battle for third as Schultz has pulled away from the field, leading Dustin Hodges off of turn 4.
Matt Johnson puts it up high and through 3 and 4. Tries to hold on to that third place spot. 3 across with Ryan Middaugh and Big Daddy Joe Duvall, your defending track champ. Robbie Reed now making a push to take his number 5 car into the top 5 as he's followed by the principal, Jason Bursley. They run 6th and 7th currently. Now a couple of cars come together. Caden Phillips. There's a lot of good drivers up and down the field.
Terry Schultz has that front row all to himself, and then it's Hodges and Duvall side by side in row number 2 as the green flag back in the air, and Joe Duvall will take over that second spot exiting turn 2, but Hodges flies right past him again, working that outside line. Joe Duvall, what a run down on that low side. He will drift up high on the track, take over that top spot. Robbie Reed will follow him in the purple number 5 as he moves up into third, and Hodges goes from second to fourth, all in the span of 1 lap as the caution flag comes out. We have completed 3 laps, 17 remain. Press down on the loud pedal, and Terry Schultz, 3-car lengths advantage out quickly over Duvall, who is still side by side with Reed. Reed to the outside, Duvall to the inside. Now Matt Johnson drifts high up on the track. That will open the door for Hodges and Middaugh to get to the inside of him. He will drop from 4th all the way back to 6th. Now Middaugh, who has to lift up off the gas to the inside, he will cause a clog over in turn number 4 before they finally get straightened out. All in the meantime, Schultz still continues to ride the outside line and pull away from Joe Duvall.
Matt Johnson, Shane, ran out of real estate. He was up there running for third and then gets shuffled back to 6th now as that red 1X drops back and tries to make its way back up and through the field. Robbie Reed trying his hand at the high line now, following Hodges around the top of the track as they try to run down Ryan Middaugh. That's exactly where Hodges is as the 21 and the 22 go side by side, and then the 21 of Middaugh ends up sideways, takes it to the infield, and pops back out on the exit of turn 4, but well under speed, and he'll give up a lot of positions to the field.
Boy, up in the top 6, there have been comers and goers all day long. You just saw Middaugh go all the way to the back of the pack. Also going out in front is Terry Schultz, but here comes Joe Duvall. Down to the inside, Hodges is now back up into the mix. We saw him fall all the way back to 6th. Now he's worked his way back up to 3rd. Robbie Reed trying to catch up with those top 3 cars as he is half a straightaway behind in 4th.
Duvall washes up the track. Hodges right behind him, gets into the back bumper of Big Daddy, and all the while Terry Schultz stays where he has been since the opening of this race, out in front. That blue bomber piloted by Schultz has been running around the Lucas Oil Speedway and continues to do so as Duvall bounces it through 4, and Hodges is going to try and get around him as they enter 1 and 2.
Hodges will have a good run off of that high side as Caden Phillips on the inside. Schultz will lead the Mamba line off of turn number 4 with Dustin Walker back behind him. Joe Duvall will dip to the inside, make it a side-by-side battle for second. They continue to sling mud over in turn 1 as Hodges loses a lot of ground. He'll lose 5 spots as he drops all the way back to 6. Duvall got around him. Reed got around him. Now here comes the 55 making his way through. That's Nathan Hager. He's worked his way up to a top 5. Matt Johnson in tow rounds out your top 5.
Johnson has been up as close as the 2nd or 3rd spot, has fallen back outside of the top 5 and wants to make the move back up into a podium finish. Right now, though, he's got Lucas Gibbs to his inside, and Hodges rolls around past the 1X to hold on to the 4th spot.
Right now, Schultz just 1 spot better than Joe Duvall as Duvall continues to find a way to get around the track. He went low in turns 1 and 2, and now he's middle of the track in 3 and 4 before drifting up right behind Schultz. Robbie Reed back in 3rd. The only guy to really step out of line back Deeper in the pack is Matt Johnson as he goes way down on the track. He goes down about as far as you can get without clipping that big white tire on both ends of the track. He's just unable to make up any time as those top two continue to pull away.
Hodges pulls up to the backside of the 55 of the Oklahoma driver. Nathan Hager goes back to the outside, and he'll try to get around him as they work through 3 and 4. Reed in line behind Duvall, and Duvall trying to pull up alongside of Schultz, but Schultz gets a good run off of turn number 4. Big Daddy to the bottom of the racetrack.
And it's going to take a slide job to pull this one off as he is able to get a little bit lower than Schultz is. He's just unable to pull it off. Now here comes your slide job, and here comes the crossover. As Schultz gets back to the inside, they make contact right underneath the Wheatland Outlaw, Mike Striegel in the flag stand. They straighten them back out, side by side again off of turn 2 with 5 laps to go. Curves the slow car, will pull to the inside, get out of the way as Duvall to the inside, hits a rut, shoots up the track. Now Schultz back underneath him. That will cost Joe Duvall as he drops back dearly. Robert Reed takes that spot away from him. Now he's in second, and he's the man on the hunt. He pulls 3 car lengths behind Schultz down the back straightaway.
That Vanderbilt race car that Robbie Reed drives now with the purple and white look looked good in victory lane a lot last year. Now he is trying to find his way around Terry Schultz. No one has been able to get past that blue bomber, that 90 so far, but Reed pulls within a car length now as they enter 3 and 4. Reed dive bombs to the inside of the track, washes up in front of Schultz. He goes under him, and Schultz maintains the lead with 2 laps to go.
Same song, second verse. Robbie Reed did nearly the exact same thing that Joe Duvall did just a handful of laps ago. It cost Joe Duvall as he fell all the way back. Now he is out of the hunt as the white flag will come out. Robbie Reed chops off the nose of the 90. Schultz crosses back underneath him. He works the low line. He hasn't been as fast there as he has back up on top. He'll try the slide move. It doesn't work as Reed back around him. 2 more turns to go. Reed leads by 2 car lengths. Here comes Schultz to the low side. At the line, it's Schultz, but the caution flag will come out to get a good read on Robbie Reed, and he does. He will stay right with him as they go through the ruts over in turn 4. Robbie Reed, a great restart, as now Joe Duvall dips to the inside of Schultz, side by side for second. Robbie Reed now out to a 5-car length advantage. They're wheel to wheel between the 90 and the 91. White flag comes out. Robbie Reed's race to win if he can go one more time around without making a mistake. He goes to the high side. That's where Terry Schultz goes as well. Joe Duvall stays to the inside, just securely back in third. Dustin Hodges comes up. He'll fight for that third place spot. He won the championship last year, and he will start 2020 with a checkered flag in sight. Robbie Reed, your feature winner.
Green flag on the O'Reilly Auto Parts Street Stock feature here. Ted Welshmeyer, Derek Brown, put it down, and we get to green flag racing lap number 1. 3 wide, working through 1 and 2. Back behind your race leader, Derek Brown. Aaron Poe, Zach Zeigen going side by side through turn number 4 as they chase Ted Welshmeyer. A good battle for second place now as they're 3 across on the entry of 1 and 2. Welshmeyer tries to cut off the front of the 35Z and does, halting the progress of both Aaron Poe and Zach Zeigen. Then the veteran driver, Shane, goes up the racetrack, and that opens the door. Poe pulls up alongside him.
Derek Brown, by far and away the best in the opening laps here in this one so far, as Welshmeyer loses the ground to Poe. Now here comes Zeigen. 3-car battle for second as Zeigen dipped to the inside.
Behind them, your 2-time defending track champion, Toby Ott, as the caution comes. Now let's see if he can stay out in front of a big field here with 2 laps under their belt. The street stocks come screaming back to life here in Wheatland. Toby Ott trying to make his way through the field. Zach Zeigen underneath him as they run 4th and 5th, right behind Ted Welshmeyer and Aaron Poe. And with side-by-side racing back behind your race leader, Derek Brown begins to pull away again. The Raven, Aaron Poe, pulls around Ted Welshmeyer. Now they're 4 across through turn number 2. And everybody gets through cleanly.
At 45 of Aaron Poe, 2 wins last season. 1 came in May, 1 came in August. Finished 8th in the point standings. Gecko Graphics, main sponsor on that machine. Now Toby Ott, who's worked his way up to 4th. He's looking for one more spot, middle of the track, off of turn 4, working to the outside of Ted Welshmeyer.
Poe used to run a late model, switched to a street stock a year ago, still with the familiar color scheme and that number 45 on the side. Brown now rolling it through 3 and 4 as he'll see the green flag first. Poe right behind him, and Welshmeyer and Poe continue to battle for second place. Zigan trying to split everybody. He splits Welshmeyer and Ott and takes over third.
Another guy on the move is that 111 of Tim Brown. Look at him way up on the top side. He is the only one venturing into uncharted waters up there for these street stocks, and he is picking them off one by one, higher than anyone else on the track as they are 3 wide down below him. He will get a great run off that cushion up on the top side.
Ted Welshmeyer on the restart was in row number 2. He now finds himself back in 5th, and Cody Frazen, among others, trying to wheel their way around the Bronze Star truck and trailer repair ride of Ted Welshmeyer. Now Brown spins around in the 69. Frazen 2 more cars get collected. Sees the cone and the tire. Striegel will put the green flag up, and we will go back to green flag racing 7 laps into our 25-lap street stock feature. Poe and Zigan following Brown around the track. Everybody gets through 1 and 2 cleanly, and then Brown brings it around here, a sizable lead over Aaron Poe, 1.1 seconds on that first lap back to green. Bob Barnett has gone ahead, turned 1 lap in Josh Holbrook's wagon, and takes it back behind the wall again.
And the 67 of Jeff Leonard is having a really, really tough go. Now Frank Escamilla slow on the track.
Time as Brown bears down and Poe gives chase behind him. Everybody stays at the bottom line of the racetrack through 1 and 2. Then they fan out in the back of the pack. Zigan trying to find a line around Aaron Poe, but hasn't found it yet. Toby Ott right behind the 35Z as well.
Now just continue to watch Tim Brown up on that top side. He's the first one to step out from that lower line, and he was able to pull up to the outside of Ted Welshmeyer last time around. His best run comes off of turn 4 right here, as he will nearly make a run, but Welshmeyer moves up in front of him and makes Tim Brown lift up off the accelerator to keep from rear-ending him on that front stretch.
Welshmeyer just has a great ability to make that 21W. The W is for wide. He gets it spread out in front and stops the forward momentum of the 111. All the momentum's up front right now with Derek Brown, a 1.6 second advantage on the field as Aaron Poe, Zach Zigan, and Toby Ott, the 3 cars vying for that second spot. They all end up within about a car length of one another. Ott pulls right up to the back bumper of Zigan, sticks his nose under him momentarily off of turn number 4, but can't get around him as the dirt continues to fly up here, and we get some green flag laps clicked off here in our street stock 25-lap feature.
Only real side-by-side action is for back in third. Toby Ott will get into the right rear of Zach Zigan as they go through turn 4. Zigan unable to shed the 27 of Toby Ott as Ott stays right with him, and now off of turn 2, a little bit more breathing room as the top 4 have all separated themselves from the field.
Derek Brown trying to grow his lead to over 2 seconds now as the green flag goes up. And Brown goes barreling off into turn 1 and 2, nose to tail, single file all behind him. Poe steps out of line, and that opens the door for Zach Zigan. Zigan to the inside of the 45 as he tries to roll past the Raven. Instead, the 35 turns into a trike. It hops through 4, and all of that ground that he had gained, Shane, goes away, and he falls back toward the front end of Toby Ott.
No, that's the downfall of going too low over in turns 3 and 4 right now, is on your exit, you go right through that rut and you take that chance of hitting it and bouncing up the track and losing all that ground.
The 111 of Tim Brown trying to roll around the top of the racetrack. The racetrack starting to get a little dry, starting to get a little slick. You can see it changing color. Showing you the preferred line, the preferred way around the track. Brown, his lead over Poe, 1.27 seconds this time. Zach Zeigen now trying to close the distance, 3-4 car lengths behind Aaron Poe now as he lost a lot off of turn number 2. The 45 was in the groove off the exit of turn number 4. Then he kind of skips it through turn number 4, and Zeigen is able to cut the differential in half.
Trouble for Tim Petty, and the number 22 is smoke out of the back of that car over in turn 4.
A total of 25 for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Street Stocks as Striegel puts the green flag up again, and Derek Brown tries to get back out to that second and a half advantage he's been enjoying up until the caution flag comes out. That just seems to be about what he hits every time, Shane. He finds his way out to a sizable lead and then sees it all shrink away during the caution. Aaron Poe just hasn't really been able to solve the riddle that has been how Derek Brown gets going on the restarts.
Well, just pure acceleration is pretty much it. Once you're out in front and can pick the line you want, you really don't have to fool much out front to get a head start on the rest of the field whenever you have the horsepower that he has underneath the hood.
Aaron Poe, 2 wins, 8th in the points last season. Won once in May and again in August. Would like nothing better than to start 2020 with a win, but right now he's got to figure out a way to cut down 1.8 seconds. That's the difference between he and your race leader, Derek Brown. Zeigen again continuing to cruise behind the 45 of Poe. They run 1, 2, 3. Ott remains in 4th. 21 laps in the books. 4 more to go now. 4 more laps between Derek Brown and a perfect start to the 2020 racing season. Brown underneath the flag stand one more time. Zeigen with a peek to the inside of Aaron Poe. Brown's lead up to 2.5 seconds as he fires off of turn number 2, and it's side-by-side racing down the back chute for second place. Zeigen with the inside line. Poe through the middle of 3 and 4. Aaron Poe turns in 4, and they are side-by-side as they come around. Poe still holding on to that second place. Zeigen with the nose in front of him off of turn number 2 now. Brown just trying to stay clean for one more lap. White flag lap now for Derek Brown. Zach Zeigen gets around Aaron Poe now, but it will be too little too late for Zeigen and for Aaron Poe. One more turn for the driver from Stoutland, Missouri, and it will be a feature win for Derek Brown in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Street Stock Division.
Four top contenders, all in the top 4 rows as Andy Bryant leads them across the start-finish line, and we are underway for the Ozark Golf Cars USRAB mods, and Chris Jackson quickly down to the bottom of the track, falling in behind the 28 of Andy Bryant. Bryant topside, Chris Jackson down low as they are side by side. Jackson gets halted a little bit, and that would allow Andy Bryant to lead lap number 1.
You know where Andy Bryant's going to go. He always loves to ride the rail around the top. And that's where he will take the 28 to now. Chris Jackson dive bombs in the bottom of turn number 3. Eric Turner trying to slide in between the two of them, but Bryant will lead him around for lap number 2 as Turner pulls up alongside Chris Jackson for second place. The 99T running well here in the early laps.
Not a bad run for the opening laps for the 99T, a winner back on August 17th of last year. Finished 1 position outside the top 10, finishing in 11th, and he will take over second from Chris Chris Jackson working the middle of the track. Jackson falls back to third. Now the 66 of Gilmore running topside. Ryan Gilmore started all the way back outside row 4. He had back-to-back finishes of second place in July. He is now on the back bumper, knocking on the door of that third position from Chris Jackson. Inside, moving Chris Jackson to the outside, making up row number 2 as Andy Bryant powers down out of turn number 4. 3 and 4 deep back behind him, as Turner sandwiched in between Chris Jackson. Now Gilmore to the inside. He's able to peek his nose in. Now here comes Chris Jackson. Andy Bryant drifts high on the track. Jackson powers down, tries the slide job, will get out in front of him. Great move by Bryant to get back out in front as he crosses back down on the low side, but Jackson powers into turn number 1, accelerates off of turn number 2, and grabs the lead away from Andy Bryant.
The Ruble Racing power plant under the hood of that 65, and Bryant gets sideways, snaps it across the infield, and is going to lose 2 or 3 spots here as he jumps out in front of Dylan McCowan. Amazing that Bryant didn't lose more spots on the racetrack as he was battling for the lead with Jackson, and now finds himself in 4th place with a couple other capable cars alongside in J.C. Morton and Dylan McCowan.
Andy Bryant may have lost some spots, but he saved the day by getting back out on the track and only falling back now to 4th as he is behind Eric Turner. That allows Ryan Gilmore to move up into 2nd, and Ryan Gilmore, one of those others drivers. He runs at some other tracks and is dominant there. Comes to Lucas Oil Speedway and 9 times out of 10 runs second fiddle to Chris Jackson, and that is exactly where he's at right now as he has dropped 4 car lengths behind the 65. Eric Turner back to 3rd. Now Andy Bryant running the high side, rim riding around turns 3 and 4. Loses some valuable positions as J.C. Morton takes a spot away from Andy Bryant. Now Dylan McCowan to the inside. McCowan with a 5th place run, and Morton spins it around over in turn 2. Car. It's a completely different car as Chris Jackson. Same results for him as he stays out in front. He may have a different car, but still continues to show how much of a power plant he has underneath the hood. Just accelerates past the field as Andy Bryant goes top shelf again, trying to get around the 99T of Eric Turner. Turner bounces through turns 3 and 4, and then they end up back in the exact same running order, single file down the front stretch.
Look at the way Bryant slides it around the top of the track, smooth as silk. That allows him to pull up within half a car length to the backside of the All About Pause entry, the 99T of Eric Turner. Bryant right back there again, close enough to give him a love tap, but has Dylan McCowan to his inside. Bryant up high again, and that's exactly where he wants to be as he and McCowan go side by side down the backstretch, and everybody chasing Chris Jackson, who tries to expand his lead to over a 2nd now over Ryan Gilmore.
Well, that top line works for Andy Bryant that time around as he gets around the 99T of Eric Turner. Bryant is not going to waver from the top side.
ASCS Sprint Car Series.
As the green flag flies again for Chris Jackson, 11 laps down, 9 remain. And Andy Bryant, the man on the move. He is now in a fight for 2nd. He grabs that spot away from Gilmore, continues to run the high side. His eyes are set at that top spot, and the 65 stands between him and it as Bryant continues to motor around, getting faster and faster every single lap. He is now only 2 car lengths behind Jackson.
Chris Jackson working his way around the bottom of this diamond of dirt tracks. Bryant not really able to gain any ground that time. The differential now 0.4 of a second between your race leader and the driver of the 28. Gilmore drifting back in 3rd, and a battle for 4th between Eric Turner and the young gun Dylan McCowan. The youngster unable to find a line that'll get him around the veteran driver of the 99T.
And Kobe Chad loses it over in turn 2.
For this one as we go back to green flag racing.
Looking at those lap times, Chris Jackson still out in front, but Andy Bryant clicking off better laps than the 65, who's out in front. Now Gilmore on the restart mounts a challenge to the inside of Andy Bryant, but Bryant will shed it off and go right back to work where he's been living all race long up on that top side. 1, 2, 3, it's Jackson, Bryant, Gilmore as they cross the line. Good run for Gilmore again to the inside. Can he make that one stick? He's making up some ground on Bryant. Bryant is losing ground to Chris Jackson up front. Now Bryant changes his line, goes to the inside. It's not going to work for him that time around as he loses more ground to Chris Jackson. Now it's up to a 0.8 second disadvantage for the 28.
Not only is he not gaining on Jackson, but Ryan Gilmore is making his way alongside the 28 now as Bryant goes back to the top of the track. Gilmore at the bottom, and Gilmore secures the number 2 spot in the running order. As we make our way to lap number 16, the orange and white 66 sandwiched in between the leader, Chris Jackson, and now the number 3 car, Andy Bryant.
And now we'll see what Dylan McCowan can do. He got around the 99 of Eric Turner. Now he'll work to the inside of Andy Bryant, grab third that time by as he's able to get the spot, but Bryant comes charging back on the outside. It's Bryant to the outside, McCowan to the inside, wheel to wheel in turns 3 and 4. Chris Jackson is off and running as Ryan Gilmore goes 2-wheeling over in turn 4 as he popped up on the left side. Now Dylan McCowan securely out in front of Andy Bryant with just a couple of laps left. White flag in hand. 8-time winner last year. Never finished outside the top 5. Chris Jackson sees the white flag one more time around for the Lebanon native that has been so dominant all season long. One more time around and one more left turn for Chris Jackson. Checkers inside, and he will win it here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Gilmore comes home in second.
The late models get loud once again here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Side-by-side racing in the front row to get things started. Cornell able to get a jump off of turn number 2 and immediately finds about 3 car lengths of advantage over Cole Hinson, the pilot of the 31C. Hinson falls in line, followed by Larry Ferris, who takes over the 3rd spot. The defending track champ Johnny Finewall rides in 4th, and Tucker Cox make up your top 5 as now the 69 of Imhoff pulls into the infield and right back up onto the racing surface in the 69.
I don't think that was quite intentional.
I think he might have got Chris Claunch's attention too, our photographer down in the middle of the infield as he pulled right in front of Chris. I bet he's got a great shot of that. Cornell had a 0.8 second advantage on the last time around. He has grown that advantage over Hinson now to better than a second gap between the 50 and the 31. Finewald around Ferris now for sole possession of 3rd place.
All the cars now strung out. As far as the top 3 are concerned, Tucker Cox now trying to mount a challenge and take away that 4th spot away from the 51 of Larry Ferris. Ferris will have none of it, though, as he is able to stay out in front of him. All in the meantime, Caden Cornell continues to check out. It was a 1.3 second advantage last time around. Now it's a 1.6 second advantage.
The driver from Willard, Missouri, that has been a back-to-back-to-back most popular driver winner here at the Diamond of Dirt tracks. Gotten out 1 but 2 iRacing World of Outlaw wins on CBS Sports Network, including one from Eldora. Well, not from Eldora, but virtually from Eldora. Yeah. And right now, Cornell is checking out. And that means Cole Hinson has to contend with Johnny Finewald. A huge gap between the 1st and 2nd place cars, but only about 4 car lengths separate Cole Hinson and the front end of the 21 of the Flash, Johnny Finewald. Fenwell cuts down the differential down the backstretch, and it's side-by-side racing back for 4th and 5th. Momentarily, Tucker Cox pulled alongside Larry Ferris. Ferris snaps it through the corner in turn number 4 and holds on to the spot. He keeps that 4th place spot. And then it's a battle of ones with Tucker Cox and Aaron Morant lining up behind the 51 of Ferris. Fenwell trying to find a line that'll get him around Cole Henson. The Hammer and the Flash do battle in a battle for 2nd place, and now Caden Cornell going to have to begin to navigate lap traffic as he looks to put John Aiken a lap down, and quickly does in turn number 1.
Yeah, that's one thing Caden Cornell is really good at, is getting around lap traffic. He is able to see well ahead, know where he needs to go within the span of a lap or 2, and he is able to stay out of trouble in doing so.
Great vision for the driver of the white 5-0, and what I'm seeing back behind him is Johnny Fenwell taking away the 2nd spot from Cole Henson. The Flash pulls out in front of the 31C as they both continue to try to reel in Caden Cornell, but to no avail as Cornell's lead is now over 3 seconds in the Cloverleaf Auto Repair powered by Hatfield engines. That white 5-0 looked hooked up, and now fire comes out from underneath the hood of the 21. The caution lights come on, and the Flash is a little on fire. Red lights will come on, red flag out. Fenwell trying to get the 21 stopped in this one. Cornell will put his foot to the floor. The green flag goes up, and we go back to racing here in Wheatland. Cornell catches a little bit of an edge there. It straightens out on him. And Cole Henson and Larry Ferris give chase as they work their way through 3 and 4.
And everybody has new dancing partners now. Whenever we were back just a couple of laps ago, it was Cole Henson and Johnny Fenewald. And then you had Tucker Cox and Larry Ferris going at it. Now it's Ferris and Cole Henson fighting for that 2nd spot. Aaron Morant and Sean Strong now fighting for 4th.
Yep, Tucker Cox got shuffled back. He started alongside Aaron Morant. And Sean Strong took the spot away from him now. 14 laps down, 6 laps to go for Caden Cornell with an 0.8 of a second advantage over the Hammer, Cole Henson. Henson in the season finale was able to execute a last lap pass for his 1 win here at the Diamond of Dirt Tracks last year. Well, he set up for a possible frantic finish here on the final lap. They work their way off of turn number 4. He and Cornell and Henson within a car length of the backside of the white 5-0 now. That lead that had been a second, that had been 0.8 of a second, trimmed all the way down to 0.3. Henson now trying to pull up alongside Cornell. They roll through turn 4. Henson on the inside, Cornell on the outside, and Caden holds on to the top spot now with 3 laps to go.
And Cornell just trying to pinch Cole Henson down as much as he can over in 3 and 4, and it worked because Henson was not able to accelerate off of turn 4. Got him just a good enough cushion with 2 laps left.
Ferris running in 3rd, Sean Strong in 4th, and a good battle between a pair of ones as Aaron Morant has the number 5 spot and Tucker Cox wants to take it away. One more time around now for Caden Cornell, Cole Henson, and the rest of the field. Cornell rockets through turns 1 and 2. He goes to the top side as they drag down the back stretch. Henson, not a lot of room left. They'll go into turn number 4. Henson tries to keep his car to the bottom of the racetrack, but it's Caden Cornell who will get a feature win on opening night.